Hello everybody, I'm Zenith Warrior Princess, the cutest of ghost buns, and welcome back to Bun Plays, where I continue to add numerous games into the haunted gaming library. Now, before we begin today, where we're going to play Sonic 2 and begin our second actual Bun Plays, I have an apology to make. For the past couple of months, I have been perpetuating the theory that rolling is a myth. I have stated numerous times during streams, and I've insinuated during the Bun Plays that rolling is in fact a myth. And I want to correct this statement a little bit. Rolling does exist in other games.
That's not true! That's improbable!
Obviously, in Metroid, you can roll into a ball. That's part of the main core concept of the game. There are certain things where rolling is common. Limp Bizkit is right. Rolling is a thing. There are such things as cinnamon rolls. However, in Sonic the Hedgehog, rolling is a myth. And I want to make this apparent because I have actual proof to back me up this time. It turns out, one of the things that I did not do for the original Bun Plays episode was take a look at the manual for Sonic the Hedgehog 1. And today, I have actually sat down and I have the manual here for Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, and guess what? Rolling is not in either of those manuals. So proof positive, there is no such thing as rolling in Sonic the Hedgehog classic games. In the manual, rolling is known as the super spin attack. And I say again, the super spin attack. The spin dash in Sonic 2 is the super dash attack. There is no rolling mentioned whatsoever, and I know some people in Discord has said, well, aren't rolling and spinning the same thing? No, they are not. Buzzsaws spin. Sonic is a buzzsaw. It's a 2D object, but he does not become able to roll until the 3D Sonics. Maybe they retcon things, but in the classic Sonic games, rolling is a myth. Fact. This is proven. This is part of this entire game's lore. I am not crazy. Rolling is a myth. There. Deal with it. With that being said, let us move over to Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I'll give the intro, and we'll start up the introduction for this game, and I'll go into my spiel about, how much I know about Sonic 2. In any case, rolling is a myth. Let's go. Alright, so first of all, we have the standard modes that we had. I haven't played any of these games before. Obviously, we unlocked Boss Rush and Mirror Mode in the first game, but we don't have that, aside from Boss Rush. But anyway, I'm going to play it in the Anniversary Mode like we did before. Let us look at this cutscene. Actually, first, let's see. Special stages. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, to play a special stage, reach a star post with 50 rings and touch the lights that appear. Collect the required number of rings to clear the special stage, which is the half pipe. I prefer the half pipe to the spinning nonsense because I get motion sickness like my father did. So, yeah, I prefer this, but we'll see. In any case, cutscene time. I can't wait. It's Tails. He has two tails. He's being bullied. How dare you? You don't make fun of my boy. Oh, he's friends because he stopped the bullies. Okay, that makes sense. I'm awesome. I can fly because I have two tails. And we earned a trophy. Welcome to Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for, playing the opening cutscene. And oh god, I love this intro right here. This is nostalgia right here. I'm gonna let the demo play because, like, legitimately, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I'm going to say right now, is one of my favorite games of all time. I went into my history about this in the primer video, but when I was a kid, I went to a video game themed summer camp at the YMCA, and because of that, I got to play this game, and I fell in love with it. This is the classic Sonic game that I've had the most fun and time with, because while I never owned it, I actually got to play a lot of, just hours with this game, and it's just like, I got to Mystic Cave at the summer camp, and that's, those of you who know, that's actually pretty far. Like, that's around, I want to say, the halfway point of the game before things start kind of getting a little bit harder, but I love Sonic 2. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is just so fun. And I think the big thing that, you can tell right from the start that they introduce is Tails as the sidekick. The Origins collection adds this cutscene where, Tails is stopped from being bullied, and so now you're friends with him. And this introduced, at the time, co-op. I was never very good at the co-op because, I didn't really like the whole second player option. But one thing that I really did appreciate is having a buddy with you and having Tails at your side. Sure, the AI is really bad and Tails dies a lot, but having that opening thing where Sonic and Tails are there is like, it's like, yeah, we got a buddy. I got a buddy. It's Tails is my boy. Like, Knuckles is by far and large my favorite character, but Tails is so cute and so fun, and I love the animation for his tails. We're going to get a little bit more into this, but before we begin, I just want to say the thing that I enjoy the most about Sonic 2 is that I feel like the level design is done so much better, where you have things that can slow you down, and you do have elements of the last game, but every single stage is designed where there's fast bits. Every single stage has stuff that can slow you down if you want to go the low path or the high path, but a lot of it is just made to be perfection of Sonic 1. And while I haven't played Sonic 3 yet, and a lot of people tell me, oh my god, you gotta play Sonic 3, it's so amazing. I haven't played Sonic 3 yet. Sonic 2 is my favorite. I had so much fun with these themes, with these levels, and we're gonna get into that, because rolling is a myth, Sonic is a pinball. It's time for Sonic Spinball action. And that's another thing. They never said rolling in Sonic Pinball, because it's Sonic Spinball. Take that, haters. In any case, let's actually start the game. That's enough of an introduction. I know I've been rambling on for like 10 minutes, but I just wanted to get you into my mindset, whereas like with Sonic 1, I don't have that history. I don't have that legacy with Sonic 1, but with Sonic 2, I love it to pieces. This is my favorite classic Sonic game. It's the last classic Sonic game I played before I got to Adventure 2 Battle, but even still, it's so good. So we're gonna play one player, obviously, but if you want to, you can play as Sonic and Tails, Knuckles and Tails, Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles. I'm gonna play it in the classic way. When we do the eventual like Chaos Emerald run, I'm going to run it with Knuckles, because Knuckles is my boy, and I want to give Knuckles a playthrough because he's Knuckles. You don't fuckle with Knuckles, just like you don't fuckle with Chuckle. But let's get started. I can't wait. This is gonna be so fun. Less dying, I hope. Tifa, death counter, please. In any case. Oh yeah, one other thing that I want to say, because rolling is a myth, a joke that I have been trying to make a thing, and Phil is being a meanie and saying don't do it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Because rolling is a myth, I'm going to dab on the haters. So Tifa, if you can put one of the gifs that I have with the bunny dabbing, that's me rolling, because rolling is a myth in this game. So instead, we're dabbing on the haters. They see me dabbing, they hating. They trying to catch me dabbing dirty. Anyway. You can tell I didn't have a lot of this planned, but I'm having so much fun. I don't care. I don't care. I thank you guys so much for watching. Let us begin. All right, Emerald Hill. I don't think it's as well designed as Green Hill. Obviously because, first of all, it has some of the same enemies, except for, like, with monkeys and stuff. And the monkeys are a little bit more annoying. But, I like Emerald Hill Zone. I think it's another great, like, starter zone for people to get into. It has similar aesthetics, and it kind of gets into that, mindset of those, you know, basically Green Hill has been repeated so often that people are starting to get sick of it. And I think part of it is like, they're like, okay, we did really well with Green Hill. Let's just kind of do that again. And it's like, I don't think this is a carbon copy. This adds a little bit more to it. But I think what works the most about it is that it adds like corkscrews. You can tell that they put a little bit more effort into like trying to make this a more three-dimensional plane. Obviously it's 2D only, but like there's a lot more involved here. I'm just gonna try to get the high road here, but I'm just having fun because like Emerald Hill is one of those stages where you can just enjoy it, and I don't really have a lot of trouble with this stage in particular because it adds more loop-the-loops, adds more to the design that was core to the original game. And there's so many different alternate pathways, and I'm just like, oh, I want to go here, but I want to go here. There's not just like a high road and a low road, there's like 3 different pathways, and it feels like there's so much more effort put into the level design this time around. Now, the interesting thing, as I stated before, is like, this game was like almost never made. The director left halfway through the project, and it was developed in a crunch time. But like, looking at this, you would never tell that this is a rush product. And it doesn't feel like it. This is just a really great first level. I had so much fun with it. We're gonna dab on through. Sonic dabbed through Act 1. Now, the interesting thing about Sonic 2 is that instead of 3 acts per zone, we only have 2 in here. And I think that helps to streamline the levels. I think that's part of the rush development cycle. But also, for me, I prefer it because, like, with 3-act structure, it starts to get, like, wear out its welcome a little bit. Because you're like, oh, we have this really bad level in Marble Zone, and there's 3 of them, and it's just like, even if you have a level you don't like here, you can still enjoy it to an extent because it doesn't overstay its welcome. And secret in the waterfall, I saw that, I'm like, there's got to be something there.
Meanwhile, at a very big and expensive waterfall set.
But yeah, like, I like that it has 2 acts instead of 3, and it feels like it streamlines the structure to me. Especially giving more attention to specific level design elements, level structure, and you can tell, like, there's more verticality here than the previous game, and I do appreciate that. So, while I don't believe in crunch culture, crunch is bad, okay?
Okay.
Crunch is very bad, okay? No crunch allowed, no Captain Crunch, but with that being said, oh, I didn't want to do that. We're not going to do that. I'm just going to get some rings. I'm not going to get the Chaos Emerald this time around. But there's, like, so many... Like, the cool thing about the half-pipe here, one thing that I'll say, because we're not going to really dwell on this, but you have so many different attempts to get to the half-pipe, because, like, in each level... essentially you have 50 rings at the checkpoint, and there's like 3 checkpoints a level. I'm not gonna retry, but I wanted to briefly touch upon that. When we get into this, like, the extras video, we're gonna talk more about that. But I like this much more because, yeah, it is memorization, but it's not like wince-inducing. It doesn't make me want to vomit. And I gotta say, those original special stages, they mess with my motion sickness like so much. And I don't, like, most games don't really mess with it that much because my dad couldn't play this game. But, like, when it comes to, like, actual motion sickness, yeah, that was... See, there's, like, so many special stage checkpoint markers, and even if I lost my rings, I can still go back and jump into the special stage. So it's, like, it's really cool. Thank you for getting the enemy, Tails. You're awesome. I love you, Tails. Even though he tends to die a lot, Tails is really cool. He helps you get enemies and whatnot. The only thing I don't like about Tails in this game is that he doesn't help in the special stages because he gets the rings. And if he gets the rings, they don't count for you. So that's kind of a bad thing. But at the same time, while the AI is stupid, Tails is good. Especially when it comes to the bosses, because he can get hits on the boss too. And, well, like, I like the initial idea of some of these bosses, but I feel like some of the hitboxes are weird, and it's not the Origins version because, you know, I feel like a lot of it is just, like, the hitboxes on some of the later ones are weird. But the first one is easy as always. I love the ingenuity of the boss. It's like, okay, let's have a giant drill. And it kind of goes from there. But we got through the first zone. We did it. Yeah. Peace. Beware stingers. Oh, I got a trophy. What is that for? Okay, this is my favorite zone ever. Let's pause for a second. But first of all, I need to look at my trophies because I am a trophy whore, and I fully own that. That's a notification. I'm still getting used to the PS5, by the way. If you can't tell, I'm just like, where's my trophies? They're my trophies. All right, so we got Welcome to Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Now, as we saw in the opening cutscene, apparently they retconned Sonic CD to take place between Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. This was not the thing, because Sonic CD came out technically after Sonic 2, and we'll get to that in our next primer. But, yeah, Sonic CD is apparently taking place in between Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, and we'll get to that later. But, let's see. Beware stingers. Defeat 10 stingers in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Well, that was easy. And then the other one is we have to get the jackpot in Casino Night Zone. Okay, that should not be hard. In any case, let's get back, and I'll talk to you about my favorite zone of the game. I absolutely love Chemical Plant. Chemical Plant Zone is probably even better designed than Green Hills. This is my favorite Sonic classic Sonic stage of all time, and it all has to do specifically with the music. Well, not entirely the music, but like the music is so good. This is one of my favorite musical tracks of all time, and in addition to this amazing score, you have this level which is like, it has new ideas. Like, you get familiar stuff from Emerald Hill, and then you go here, and it's just like, guess what? Tubes! And we have all these new concepts, like these like bubble things that you have to avoid, but they're not like super annoying like some of the later ones. And you don't always go like left or right. Ah, damn it. I gotta roll on these. Hey, I'm rolling on you. Let me roll on you. Tails, are you gonna take this line down? Come on, Tails. We gotta take care of these guys. But yeah, like it's different level design, but it's also like the background's so good. And I think that's another thing, is just like you have these cool backgrounds, you have these cool new level designs, new concepts. Everything is just like so different from the first game. And you can go in multiple different pathways, and just, I love the music. In Tubes! This to me feels like it took inspiration from Scrap Brain, but in a good way, because there was a lot that I did not like about Scrap Brain. But it has like the tube design, it has a lot of the hazards. It's not entirely like 100% simple and easy, but it doesn't feel like it's out for blood, you know? And there we go, that's Chemical Plant 1. But that got... One thing that I got a lot of flack for from my friends is that I'm not a really big fan of the Sonic 1 soundtrack, and I get it. Like, a lot of people like the soundtrack, and that's fine. You do you. But when I play Sonic 2, I love all these songs, but especially Chemical Plant. And when I was a kid playing this game, I couldn't get this song out of my head. It's just one of those songs I'm just like... And like getting a height in this, like I know where all these secrets are because I played this so much of the camp, and there's just so much fun stuff that you can do with it. Oh god, like a lot of people are probably just like, man, you suck at Sonic 1. Yeah, I do. But I love Sonic 2 this much that I'm just like, I can't get enough of it. I am dominating. And like, I know where like some of the secrets are and secret pathways, and I don't know everything, but I am a much bigger fan of Sonic 2 than I am Sonic 1. Like the, God, that whole sequence right there, where you can go on the, like, this design right here, up, and down, and if you want you can go back, like, and the bumpers aren't just like auto bumpers. You control yourself really well. It just, this to me is supremely just amazing game design, amazing level design, where like nothing feels cheap. Everything feels like I'm in control. I love it. And I already have 100 rings. Like, this is one of my favorite Sonic games I've ever played. Simply because of the freedom, the control. Just, there's so much you can do. And so many different pathways. It never feels like it's overstaying its welcome. And I know a lot of people kind of fear the second half of this zone because of this portion, and as a kid I was having trouble at this portion too, because it is one of those things where it has the underwater physics, but I think it gives a good incentive. Like, if you're good, if you know what you're doing, you can stay on the above path, and you don't have to... What the what was that? What was that? I got crushed by the block, I think. So I was going too fast, Sonic. You not only broke the speed limit, you broke the sound barrier and the game.
Speed can be the enemy sometimes.
How could this happen to me?
Okay, add that to the death counter. But if you're not too good, you're gonna go on the lower path, and you're gonna have the water physics. But if you go on the upper path, you're gonna have an easier time. So I just think that this is really good design, to where like it gives an incentive to do a little bit better, and you're rewarded for doing it, rather than have the entire level being underwater, which I think was Labyrinth Zone's problem that a lot of people didn't like. So it's like, I know a lot of people don't like this zone in particular, not just because of these moving platforms, but because of the boss fight. And the boss fight we'll get to in a second, but like, I just love it. I love the idea that, like, you know, you have these things that... This is a chemical plant. This is an ordinary place in an ordinary world, but at the same time, it has so many interesting design elements that just work, and if you understand the mechanics of the game, it's just so fun. Alright, so now we have the boss fight. So this is the first one where I think it's a little bit iffy because of the hitboxes. Not like not necessarily on him, but like you have the death waiting for you on either side. And it is a little bit tricky because you can die even after you beat him if you don't do things right. But at the same time, I think it's still a good second boss. They'll get a little bit worse as time goes on. By the way, we've only been going like 26 minutes. We're 2 acts through. Think about that compared to Sonic 1, how bad I was. Like that's how much I think this is a better designed game. And I think having just the 2 acts, that two acts per zone really helps with this. Aquatic Ruin, love the soundtrack here. It's very mystical, like it definitely feels fitting to the stage, but it's also really catchy. I didn't like this stage as a kid. I think this was one of the first ones that I was like iffy about, but as an adult I actually really like it, because you don't even have to go in the water stages, and if you want to, you can stick to the high path, and there's a lot of like hidden goodies and stuff that you don't really notice as a kid. And I didn't even know I could go to this high path, and it's just like, it's one of those things where if you explore and keep going higher, it's more beneficial, but if you go to the low path, you're going to be stuck in the water or with the rhino bots. And so, are they rhino bots? I'm not sure. I know I have the manual, but I haven't looked at it because it perpetuates the myth that rolling does not exist. So I was just like, well, I guess we can't follow the manual for this. But a lot of these enemies don't have like the same memorable names that they had in the first game. I'm sure Phil is gonna fill me in on some of this. I hit an arrow, but still, even with like issues that I do have with like underwater, I don't get underwater for very long. It's one of those stages where as a kid you probably be a little bit like, I don't like parts of it, but as an adult I really do like it. I think it's a great balance of challenge and just fun, and even when you're stopped in your tracks, you're not stopped in your tracks for long. Alright, Aquatic Ruins Zone 2. And I do have to say, I like that it's very on brand for Dr. Robotnik, or Dr. Eggman as he's known in Japan, to have his face on the arrow traps. Like, very on brand, boy. You're doing good. You did good. Okay, that was my bad. You know what? I'm gonna stay underwater for this. Why not? This is not as bad an underwater section as like some of the previous games. And while it is a little bit slower, I think they're more generous with the air bubbles. And I think that it's a lot easier to go on the pathways and not like have issues. So, yeah, I think this is Labyrinth Zone done a bit better in my opinion. It doesn't have like the what's it called? It doesn't have like the puzzles of Labyrinth Zone, because I think at this point they were just like, we're probably not going to do the puzzles because it was too much for kids. But I honestly like the ideas present. They took a lot of the things that worked of the previous game, they got rid of the stuff that didn't work, and they kind of, went from there. Ah, crap. No. I think I'm gonna die. Damn it. It's okay. We got this. But, yeah. I like Aquatic Ruin. It's not my favorite zone in the series, but I like the ideas present. I think it's cool that they have, like, a background and a foreground here. So it feels more three-dimensional than it actually is. Even though Sonic is a buzzsaw and he spins and does not roll.
Hercules, look out!
Okay, that's another one. Apparently you get crushed by those blocks. But also, do you see Tails doing the doggy paddle? That's adorable. Tails, you're so adorable. I love you. You're the best, Tails. Tails is my boy until he dies. And then he's like, sorry, Sonic, I couldn't help you. Sonic! But yeah, if you go the high road, like, the high road in this game is, especially in this stage, you're just like, you're guaranteed not to have an issue. Although a lot of it is layered. So, like, you have, you have stuff above and stuff below that goes into the water. And I think that's interesting design. It feels like you have to keep going higher and higher to stay afloat, and I like that element to it. All right, we're doing good this time. I wanted to take the low road, but I didn't need to. Oof. And yeah, we're just destroying these pillars. I hope these columns weren't important to anyone. It's okay. It's a ruin, right? It's nothing important. Sure.
We've done a lot of things we're not proud of. Robbing graves, plundering the tombs, double parking.
What do you have to say to that, Doctor Who? Doctor Who is just like, why are you destroying all the artifacts? This is priceless.
Should we leave it alone? Should we back off? Should we play it safe? Nah, you think let's make it bigger!
Okay, third boss. This is where things get a little bit iffier, but I really like this boss design because it's just like, okay, in order to reach him, you have to get up on top of the pillar. And yet, in order to do that, you have to hit one of the arrows, but you can stay on top of the pillar, and you can cheese the boss from this point on. So if you just jump and avoid his hammer, you can stay up there. I like the design of it. I do think it is a little bit easier, but I think it's an interesting idea because, you know, I'm not gonna always stay on the pillar, but I know a lot of people are just like, man, this boss is so easy compared to like other bosses. I'm just staying here. Hi, Tails. Are you gonna jump up here? No? Okay. I love you, Tails. Tails, my boy. Even though he's getting hit by an arrow. I'm sorry, Tails. Even though you're accident prone, ow. Even though you're accident prone, Tails, I still love you. But yeah, this is a little bit of an easier boss for a third boss. And it's just like, some people might find that a little bit like, By the third boss in the other game, it was a little bit harder. But here we are, first try. Actual first try. All right, so we went through some chemicals, we went through Emerald Hill, we went through that. Now it's time for the better Spring Yard. This is Casino Night, and it's one of my favorite levels in gaming, period. This embraces the pinballs to its natural conclusion, and it's an entire game of pinball.
Sonic, he's got an attitude. Sonic, he's the fastest in alive.
Like, this is straight up pinball, and I love it. I know a lot of people, like, some call me Johnny, is just like, well, I'm not a huge fan of pinball, but I'm just like, I love pinball, and you can have so much fun here. And like a real casino, they steal your coins. And there's just like so many fun things to do here. The one thing I did learn when I was playing this on the PS3 version is that apparently there's a time limit in Sonic. Like, obviously I see the time meter right there, but I just thought it was just like, okay, we're going fast, and that's just to time you. But no, if you get to a certain amount of time, you will lose a life. And I'm just like, but this level's just so fun. Why would I want that? Like, why would I want to, like, limit my time here? So I do think it's a little bit an antithesis of Sonic in terms of having that time limit there, because it's just like, for me, I'm just over here like, I just want to have fun in this casino. but we gotta go fast. Sonic's gotta go fast. And there's like, much like a casino, this is a maze. Like, I get so lost in this level, and I find new stuff every time I play because it's like we have so many different options of where to go and what to do. It's all these flashing lights and colors, and I'm like, I love this level so much. There's nothing really cheap about it aside from the boss, but we'll get to that. And it's just, overall, this is one of my probably my second favorite stage of the game. Just because it's like, I can have so much fun here. To my heart's content, I can play the casino games, and unlike real life, I don't have to worry about my real life money going away. I don't go to casinos in real life because I don't want my money taken away. But there we go, that's Casino Night Zone 1, Act 1, completed. Da 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 da. And we got three more retry coins. But Casino Night Zone 2 is the one that I had the timeout on, because this is where you can cheese a jackpot. And I have fun cheesing the jackpot, but we'll get to that in a second. Let us continue through the stage until we get to the jackpot. By the way, in case you noticed, in my Sonic 1 first impressions, one thing that I didn't mention, but I did learn, is that, you know, you have to wait, make sure that you don't, the game doesn't autosave until you're at the start of the next stage. But yeah, this is where you can cheese the casino, and you can just keep going on this one bumper until you get a jackpot for the trophy. Now, there's also a lot of really cool things. You get a lot of extra lives, a lot of rings, but you have a time limit. You gotta watch your time, so I'm gonna try not to overdo it, but we have unlimited retries here. No, don't, okay. They're gonna take my coins. I feel like I'm playing like Final Fantasy 13 too, because one of the trophies was very luck-based, where you have to get this, oh, there, another extra retry. There we go. One of the trophies in Final Fantasy 13 too was luck-based. Essentially, you have to play the casino and get a jackpot. And the solution is you rubber band your controller and you keep the game running for hours. And it's just like, oh, jackpot, no. We're gonna get there. Come on, mama needs a new pair of shoes.
Shoes. Oh my god, shoes.
But don't take away Sonic's running shoes, because we all played Sonic Labyrinth. That was not fun. The only other classic Sonic game I played aside from Sonic 2 was Sonic 3D Blast. And that was weird. Damn it, don't take my coins. You'll pay for this, Robotnik. I will defeat you in court with She-Hulk. God, I just... What was I saying? I completely forgot, because there's so many pretty colors. But like, I just love the stage so much. Gotta get my jackpot. Yeah, I was talking about Final Fantasy 13 too. Any trophy that is based on luck is so stupid, because it's like, it's not fun to constantly do it. But here, I have fun with the stage regardless, so I'm not really like too bad, and there's a benefit to getting the coins. But in Final Fantasy 13 too, it's just not fun. Like, 13-2, I think, is a much better game than 13-1. But when you have to get that trophy that's simply based on luck, that is bad game design. And we got the trophy! We are lucky! Lucky the Hedgehog. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, you can get so much extra lives and extra stuff there. Let me look at my trophy first. I'm gonna pause the game so it doesn't time out. I'm not gonna die from timeouts this time around. I have gotten better than that. I'm only at 3 deaths, I think. I'm doing so much better than before because I love Sonic 2. Okay, so Lucky the Hedgehog. we get the jackpot and casino night. And yeah, we're doing good. Is there anything else that we're close to? Because the good thing about this, the system is that we can tell how far we are in certain things. Let's see. No, I think we're doing pretty good. We're on track. We got the casino night done. So once casino night's done, we can move on to the rest of the stuff. Da 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 da. Oh, I love this song too. This is like, this feels very casino-y. It's jazzy, and it speeds up and slows down really well, and it just like, it's the kind of thing that I would hear going into like, I'm blanking on the name of a casino. Probably because I blanked it out, but I used to go to a casino with a friend that had like Fuddruckers, this burger place, and I never like went to the games because they're all rigged. I only went, like, tried it once just to kind of get it out of my system. I put in $10, I lost $10, and I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done. And I get it. Some people like really like the thrill of actually winning, but the odds are so against you that like it's not worth it. But even still, I got the jackpot in this game, and that's enough for me. But yeah, I'm gonna get through this before we get to the 10 minutes, because we're nearing the end of the stage, but I don't want us to get to the boss and just die because of overtime. Sonic, you ran out of time. For what? I don't know. Ran out of time to play the jackpot games. You cleaned out the jackpot. You counted cards. You're banned from the casino.
Banished. Dog.
Okay, this is the first boss that I have a problem with. Because if you don't know the spin dash, you're going to have an issue. Because a lot of it is like you have to go spin dash, but then you have to jump away from it. And it's just like, you can't hit it from the bottom. And you have to know that you have to go from the top. And you have to deal with pinball physics. And playing this in the classic isn't as good. I prefer playing it in this version because they do a better job updating things. But it's just, I feel like this is a beginner's trap boss. Because like, you finally got to a certain stage and you're like, you're doing good. And I died so many times playing this originally before I realized you could jump off the walls. But still, we beat it. I'm not adding any more deaths to the counter because Sonic has leveled up. Zenith Bun Buns has gotten good. Will I be good this entire way through? We will see. We'll see how good I can get. But I'm going to try to get through one more zone, or one or two more zones before the time runs out for our hour that I usually give myself for this. And let's talk about Hilltop. A lot of people like have issue with Hilltop. Oh, I went the wrong way. That's 4. Some people have issue with Hilltop Zone. First of all, I love the theme song. Like, it's one of those like Western Canyon themes, like Prospectors. And other people say this is just Marble Zone, but like with a new coat of paint. I'm like, no, this is Marble Zone done right. This is Marble Zone without all the underground stuff, but it adds new mechanics. It adds stuff from from Starlight. And so, like, it takes a lot of inspiration from that. And yet it has some lava stuff, but it doesn't fully stop you in your tracks. And in addition to everything, like, you can still have more control over stuff. And it has more gimmicks to it. There's no underground stuff. You can actually like tunnel underground with Sonic in this level, and I just find it interesting. It's just like, okay, let's go to kind of like a Grand Canyon type level where everything's hills and mountains, and you can go and do some interesting things. I don't know what these Brontosaurus enemies are, but I don't like them. Ah, damn it. Lava. Hot lava. Ah. Hot lava. As they say in South Park. Yeah. You gotta watch out for, it's not Man Bear Pig. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's, Scuzzlebutt. Yes, Scuzzlebutt. He weaves wicker basket, and he has Patrick Duffy for a leg. Scuzzlebutt. I watched a lot of South Park as a teen. It hasn't held up as well, but I do think, like, Chin Pokemon is one of my favorite episodes. So I tend to, like, comment on it. I know, like, in later years, South Park has become a little bit transphobic in some aspects, but, like, there's still some really good classic South Park episodes, and I feel like a lot of it is supposed to be mocking everyone, which can work. It doesn't always work, especially because your jokes make the standard. There's an episode of SpongeBob where they make a bunch of stupid jokes about, like, Sandy the squirrel because she's from Texas. And at the end of it, they go into this really bad spiel about, like, how, well, you have to make jokes about everyone. No, because the jokes had a harmful effect. And I feel like, that's totally applicable today with today's comedians. It's just, like, your humor makes the standard of what is acceptable to do in society. And I feel like, to a certain extent, South Park kind of fell in that trap where we shouldn't make fun of everyone equally, because not everyone deserves to be made fun of equally, especially minorities. But, and I love this little design, that grinding through the stone, but, like, I feel like when it comes to humor, if you're making fun of yourself, that's fine. You should be able to take a joke. And the way I make humor, 95% puns. But I make some humor at my expense, and I make humor of just the awkwardness of situations. And so that's why, like, South Park can work. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to make fun of certain things. I just feel like if all you do is make fun of people for being different, that's just, we call it punching down, but I think a better term for it is just, it's too easy. It's lame. It's lazy jokes. And I don't want to make those types of jokes. Like, there's an easy way to make trans jokes, because if you're trans, like stuff about HRT, like, if you're on HRT, one of the jokes is that, like, you pee a lot because one of the drugs, just makes you drink a lot of water and pee. And so one of the jokes with trans people is that, all we do is, make dress go spinny and eat lots of pickles. And it's funny because, like, if you've been on that specific type of drug, you understand that type of humor. Or, like, all trans people care about is girls. It's all about them girls. And I'm like, 95% of what I talk about on Twitter is girls. So, also, that's one thing I really love about this zone right here is that, I just went, like, you can go through the stages and you can go from the top to the bottom, and it's a little bit of Marble Hill-esque, Marble Zone-esque, but, like, it does things right, in my opinion, where it gives you options and it doesn't pigeonhole you to the underground segments. But even when you're in the underground segments, they're actually more interesting now, because you have to go against the lava, but the enemy isn't necessarily the lava. It's just like, okay, like, we have to get to the top of the lava, and we don't have to stop and go. It's more action packed. I think this is Marble done right. But now, boom, 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 boom. I love this part. Like, there's no purpose to these springs. There's no purpose. I love it. Yeah, so here we are. We're about at the end of the stage right now. And this is just a long rung of ladders. Not ladders, gondolas, I guess. Gondolas, maybe? I don't know. Terminology. I am trans, and we can only do a couple things right at a time, and math is not my strong suit, nor is terminology. But, alright, it's time for the boss. Let us go. Alright, this is where the hitboxes start getting a little bit weird, because it's just like, if you, one wrong move and you're in the lava, alright. Well, like, but he goes into the lava, and it's like, if you want to hit him while he's going down, you can. Some of these bosses you can cheese easily just by going like this. But then you jump in the lava because he goes like invincible. And it's just like, I want to cheese it like some of the other bosses, but I can't. Because some of them are like, you can easily cheese. Alright, I'm going to get some coins first. That was because I didn't have any coins. There we go. We got our coins. Do. I love, like, it's kind of like a Western theme for the hilly area. Welcome to Sonic in the Great... what the hell was that? Tails hit him, and he became invincible, and so I went right through him. See, that's the questionable hitbox choice. It's like, because sometimes he... Like, if you're underneath him and you're invincible, you hit him, but you can't get up, and so you get stuck in the lava. One thing I didn't know when I played the first game was, like, if you get hit, you become invincible for a few seconds. So that's, like, one of the core mechanics, but here, the invincibility doesn't really help you. Because, like, you'll get stuck somewhere where you don't want to be, and I'm just, like, I'm over here saying, like, I just want to hit you. Let me hit you. So, I can't cheese him. Like, this is probably one of my least favorite bosses. I don't like the Oil Ocean boss as well. I feel that's where things start getting dickish for the bosses, and that's kind of one of my biggest gripes about this game. I love Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but I feel like the bosses, the hitboxes start getting a little bit, like, much after a while. It's not like they're bad, but I feel like the design is just like, let's just have 2 bottomless pits on each side. And so you're going to get hit by something, and then you're going to fall in the bottomless pit. Or if you go one wrong move, you're going to have an issue. And I'm just like, but I don't like that design. I feel like that's cheap, like, easy design just to make things harder. So that's part of the arcade, like, stuff rearing its ugly head. No, I beat the boss. See, that's arcade things. Like, you can beat a boss and die, and they wanted you to put quarters in. I had someone comment on my Sonic 1 first impression saying, wouldn't it be interesting to take a look at why Sonic 1 was the way it is? I'm like, I know exactly why it was the way it is. I did a lot of research on this, and one of the major reasons why Sonic 1 is the way it is it was the arcade mindset at the time. They had to make games for people with quarters. They wanted to make their money from the quarters, so they intentionally made a lot of the games designed so they had cheap stuff like that. And, like, that's just the way things were. Tails, get out of the lava. What are you doing? Tails! Snake,
are you okay? Snake?
The AI is so funny. But yeah, so that's that boss. That's one of the patterns that I noticed, like Casino and not Casino Night, Chemical Plant, this, and Oil Ocean all have a pit on either side, and if you fall in, it's pretty much game over. And so that's the quarter design right there. However, I think this is a good time to stop it off here. First of all, I'm just gonna pause here. Actually, let's go to title screen. I want to make sure that it saved it properly. Alright, and we start right from Mystic Cave. And this is about the halfway point anyway. I think this is a really good stopping point, because, like, Mystic Cave is where things start getting a little bit harder. And apparently there's some sort of secret in Mystic Cave, because there's one portion later on where if you jump in the bottomless pit, like, not the bottomless pit, there's a pit with spikes, and you can miss it. I think it's in Act 2. And I've done this before where you just jump in and you just die. Apparently there's something included in Origins. I don't know. Phil told me to jump in. We'll get to that. But I think this is a good place to stop because this is where the game starts kind of ramping up in difficulty. This is where I kind of stopped as a kid because, like, a lot of these stages are actually really easy to complete. But, like, when you're not going for the emeralds or anything, and you can still get Supersonic in the first, like, 2 zones very easily because there's enough of those checkpoints where you can easily get that done. So I had no trouble with that as a kid. But when you get to Mystic Cave, that's where things start to ramp up. I love the design of Mystic Cave and Oil Ocean, but the bosses are a little bit trickier, and the Oil Ocean boss is the same issue as this boss. It's just the bottomless pits are just very bad design. But with that being said, I am Zenith, Warrior Princess, the cutest of buns, messing up my catchphrase, saying that rolling is a myth, dab on the haters. Rolling is a myth in this game, and I'll see you guys next time where we go from Mystic Cave. We try to beat this game, and I'm having so much fun. Again, Sonic 2 is my favorite of the classic Sonic games that I've played, and I mean, granted, between Sonic 1, 2, and 3D Blast, I mean, that's not saying much, because apparently Sonic 3 and Sonic CD are actually really, really good. But we'll get to that. In any case, Zenith Bun Buns signing off. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.